Let's go. Welcome back to the Big Idea to Bestseller podcast. I got a friend of mine today who I'm pumped to bring on the show. But before we do that, let me just give you a quick little bio to get you fired up for the guest. So JJ is an international speaker and has been exciting people with his message for the last 15 years in over 30 countries. In 2009, he leveraged the social media platform YouTube to grow his brand to 57 million views online in the entertainment industry alone. Leaving his tricks behind, he leveraged his mastery in PR and personal branding and started an agency called Ace of Spades, which helps people grow their personal brand so they can be the number one authority in their space. People aren't buying the house, they are buying you. JJ, welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. We were just saying before the call that I'm going to put on the glasses. I'm going to be that kind of like very like expensive creative agency that charges $2 million a month to work for only Coca-Cola. That's the look I'm going for right now.
I love
with the
it.
plants, with the plants,
With the
and
plants.
the vibe and the bike, the very European Danish, bike kind of
Yeah.
thing we've got going on here.
So
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good, man, and I'm excited to chat with you. Okay, and I want to start. I want to start with this. You know, you've been doing this for a while. You come from the entertainment industry. How did you end up creating an agency that does a little bit of everything for the people that need you the most?
Yeah. Well, let me just be clear. We don't do really a little bit of everything because that screams like this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, right? However, I know where you're going with this. So, 17 years ago, I wanted to do two things: stand on stage and tell the world, who I am and what I do. I started my career in Australia, and I started in the show business world, as a magician. So I could read your mind, I could steal your watch, I could get your phone number, ladies. It was pretty easy for me, right? And that really sort of catapulted me to working for many different companies, working in front of many different cultures in many different countries. And it really like helped me understand how to captivate a room, how to sell myself, how to leverage media, and really how to position myself as the best magician to go to at the time.
And I love that you literally just right there at the beginning, you're like, no, we don't do a little bit of everything, even though you knew where I was going with it, but you were like, no, we do certain things really, really well. So what are the things that you guys specialize in that you do really, really well from all the experience you've had in the space?
Right. Well, yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. The reason why I stopped you is because, in a way, messaging is a huge problem that a lot of people face, including me. If everybody thinks you do everything, or if everybody thinks, oh, he just does real estate. Oh, yeah, they just have a marketing agency. Well, do they? Or is it a little bit more specific? And don't you hate it when you lose out on a deal or an opportunity because someone didn't know that you did that service? You're like, I've been doing this for years. Whose problem is that? Whose fault is that? So, like, dialing in with who we are, what we do, and exactly people knowing, oh, they solved this problem. Like, okay, Jake, let me ask you a question. Like, think of an Italian restaurant. Where do you live? Where's home? Where are you right
Los
now?
Angeles.
Okay, cool. Okay, great. I know where. I used to live in LA for a long time. Okay, no, think of the best Vietnamese restaurant.
Okay.
Pho. Like, okay, something comes to mind.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What's the name of it?
I don't even know, to be honest. We just order it on
Where is it?
DoorDash every once in a
Okay,
while.
DoorDash. Great. Okay, perfect. Great. So when you are craving pho, you don't go to the Chinese restaurant that you went. You go to the exact. You want the pho, you want the taste, you go to that one. You've been there before, you trust it, right? So this is the same thing when it comes to what we sell as well. Like, people need to know exactly, like, what do we solve for them? Who is the guy for this? And I think in this space, man, it's so noisy now, right? What I'm finding in this space, because I help a lot of people, coaches, consultants, people trying to actually get people to know them as the expert. People want experts. People want, who is the exact person for this? No, I don't want the whole marketing agency. Like, I need the guy that solves lead generation problems that I don't want to spend money on. How do I get organic? Okay, who's the organic lead guy? Good. Give him a ton of money, right? So I don't know what the question was anymore, but I'm very passionate on that because I feel like so many people, they want all the things that we do. They want the PR, they want the television, they want the Forbes, they want the blue tick on verification. But the problem is it's not dialed in. Like, what I asked them, what do you do? Well, let me share they don't even know how to say it. Like they can't tell me in a sentence. They have to think about it.
So what do you think then is the first thing? Because what you're saying makes a lot of sense, right? We pay more for the expert. When we know where to go, it's easier to find, right?
Sure.
So what do you think in the year of 2023 is the first thing that every entrepreneur, brand owner, coach, consultant, they need to have figured out before they move on to getting PR?
Really, really, really dialed in their offer and their message. Like who do they exactly solve? Who am I talking to? What pain or problem am I solving? You
And
know?
then once they do that, right? Because this requires work, right? Like for some people it's really obvious. For other people, they're still experimenting. They're still seeing what's going on. They're
Oh,
trying to find their
me
right
included.
fit.
Yeah,
Of
me
course.
included. Yeah.
And even once you do figure it out, it's always evolving, right? And that's a really interesting thing. But let's say you feel good about that. You know what problem you solve. You know who you solve that problem for. And then someone says, hey, now what do I do? Like, how do I amplify this message? How do I get everyone to know me as this guy or this
Yeah.
person or this girl? What do you encourage people to do in today's world to really expedite that process and to be seen as that authority?
I like using things without having to pay firms, expensive firms like mine to help you. So I would start off with content. I really think content marketing is powerful because content stays online forever. It's like real estate, it's long-term wealth. And a lot of people you can convey so much when you shoot a video of who you are, what you do, why you do what you do, educate the market with stories, with ideas, with thought processes. Like becoming the expert is is a powerful thing to be able to have underneath your belt, right? Because if you can control the narrative here, there's no cost. You have the internet. You don't need to set anything up. Like you're literally advertising for free with a press of a button. Now, Jake, the problem with that is that most people are scared. Most people know they got to do it, but they don't do it because they're worried about the fear of rejection. They're worried about what are they going to say about me. Most people know that if they made videos, they'd probably get business. People are pretty smart. Then why don't they do it? It's not they don't have time or they don't have money because it doesn't cost any money. Time takes 10 seconds to shoot a video. Hey, what's up? Just want to talk to you about my agency. Okay, that's not hard. It's the idea of, oh my gosh, what's going to happen if I put this out on the internet? So that being said, that's for the people that want to create content and that aren't afraid. So I give two responses because I know I could tell you that one thing and people are going to do it, but they won't do it. That doesn't make me feel good as a speaker and as someone that wants to help people. So second option would be, I like the idea of going on Facebook groups, right? And getting in front of the exact people to go and talk to them about that pain or problem. Because what it does is it gets away from everything else and you have a group of people that you know they're interested in this and you can start to like talk to these people because you have the perfect plan for these people, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes, Jake, sometimes everybody wants to do everything. Well, do I do podcasts? Do I do TV? Do I do content? Do I do this? Before you go out and do this omnipresence approach, be careful because most people don't have the time. It's very frustrating because you don't see the ROI, right? And then you feel like, is this even working? Then you give up. So like, what can you consistently do to really like, what's your jam? Are you good at doing content? Do you like it? Then let's roll, do everything, right? If you struggle on doing content and you struggle to create videos, maybe we got to look at a different way to get your message and what you do out there. And the final thing on this point, just to help you, and help everybody too, is you should run an event. This is one thing I've done over and over in every city I've lived in. I will run an event and I'll call it get to know me, get to know Jay. What a great thing. Hey, yeah, I'd love to invite you. I don't know anyone. I'm new in the city. Or, hey, this is my new business, right? If you run an event and invite people, invite the mayor. This is what a lot of people don't realize. Your local mayor or I think in every country that we call it like the politician or the mayor or the governor, their job is for the people. Their job is for like, you invite him. Hey, it's a brand new business. Now he may be busy, she may be busy, but bring people with influence to your event to get to know you. It's a great way to start getting people to know your business in your area. You want supporters, you want allies. Everybody's quick to like go digital copywriting, funnels, this. I'm like, how about the people like the barber down the road? Like, so.
This is great. I love the nugget about the live event and the get to know me and inviting the local politician and community, because I was just at an opening for a new apartment complex.
Okay.
And one of the things that they did was they had the city council members, they had the mayor, they had invited, certain people. And here's what's really cool. Those people have to go to those types of events because they want to support the people who are investing back into the community.
Right.
And by doing that, though, the event increased its legitimacy, and therefore the people who were there got to see all of that opportunity, and that was just further establishing the investors and the owners of the place. It was their credibility that continued to be elevated, all because they invited people and then invited people of status and brought it together. So
yeah, man, Jake, I'm simplicity, dude. I'm all about simplicity, right? We work in PR, which is all about people. How do we relate ourselves to people? What do they say, feel, think, say about us after we leave? But how do you simplify it? Because I feel like one huge problem, Jake, in the space that we play, it's so noisy. And I feel for people. Like, people have most people are not great at so many things. They're a great author, they're a great speaker, they're great at copywriting. Like, that doesn't make you a great marketer. Like, and you're trying to figure it all out. And it's really challenging because you're constantly trying to get everybody's attention and keep it, and hopefully they don't scroll away.
Yeah.
Like, and trying to push your message down them without being too salesy, but then you want to get your message out there, but you don't have the finances to really like, see, even I'm confused right now. It's tough.
What do you think are some of the biggest, we've kind of talked about some of the ways that people think around this. What have you noticed are some of the mistakes or mishaps that people make when they're trying to build their brand? Is it they're jumping into things too quick? They're spending money on the wrong things. They're not clear enough. Like, what are you noticing? And you've shared a few of them, but can you elaborate on some of the biggest mistakes that you see when people go towards the PR route and building their brand?
Not knowing what they want. What do you want and why are you doing this? I always ask people before they work with me, why do you want to do this? Hey, Rich, I really need PR. Why? And they tell me why. A lot of people obviously want clients and cash flow, right? But they really just want help and support on like, okay, who's the right people to help me get out there? A lot of people though want all the extra things and they haven't done all the right things at the beginning. A lot of people haven't had the right product market fit, man. Most people don't even have a like consistent amount of cash flow coming in, and they already want to promote and advertise. I'm like, how do you know your stuff's really working? How many customers have you had last month? 3. Like, I have to ask them the hard questions sometimes, Jake. So I think first things first is like being really clear on why do they want to, what is the goal and what is their expectations of promoting and doing PR? Because if they're like, well, if I get into a publication, I'll get all these leads. I'm like, oh, so we want leads. Okay. Well, let me just tell you, that article will not get you leads, right? That company won't help you because I know, like, I'll tell you the truth. We need to figure out a consistent way of getting in front of your right people, right? Would you agree on that? Great. Do you want to jump around on TikToks all day? Yes. Perfect. Here's the plan to attract leads that way. No, you don't want to do it at all, but you think you have to, you don't do it then. We're not doing that. There's other ways to get to your goal without having to do what everybody else says. So I'm really, really passionate on telling people the truth and give you a holistic approach. Because you know what they're doing, Jake? They're buying the girl's course for $1,000. She's like, I make $10,000 a month by doing TikToks. She does, but she also runs ads. She's also verified. She's also got a really good product market fit, and she's been doing it for 20 years. But she doesn't tell you that in the marketing materials. So little Julie, who's got a bakery business, who's got 50 grand to jump into a business, she goes, buys this $1,000 course. And guess what? It fails. Like that's what I care for. I care for the people to be like, do not do that. And you're wasting your money, right? And most of the time I get it too late. They come to me too late. They're like, I've already spent 15 grand, it's okay, whatever. At least I
Right.
can tell them the truth.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. I'm gonna kind of take a little sidebar here because I think this is important for us. But you come from being a magician, you come from the entertainment world, and I come from
Yeah,
a
all
sports
lies and
background,
deceit.
and we're good, right?
All lies and deceit. Yeah.
Lies, deceit. People embellish things. People make things bigger
Yeah.
than they're supposed to be. They
Yeah.
they essentially make things up, right? How did
Right.
you, or when did you in your career, if it evolved, but have you always been someone who speaks the truth even in this crazy world, and how have you been able to stay true to yourself in that process?
Yeah, great question. I think part of the great thing about being Australian is we don't care too much we don't get caught up in the American hype, I know hype. I go on stages and sell hype. When I'm on stage as a performer, people want to show. I get it. However, I think I've been to so many countries and I've met so many people. It just doesn't work, man. It doesn't work. It's not, it's a facade that never turns out the way it should be. Because people get tricked, they get led to believe that it's this. And what happens? They always aren't happy. They tricked me. That's not what I thought it was going to be. And I've done it. I've done it. I used passion and excitement to sell things in the past. And I realized that I didn't sell the right thing to the right person, or they shouldn't have bought it in the first place. And they don't get the result. Whose fault is that? Maybe them or probably me, because I did the wrong thing. So I've realized this now of how important it is to be authentic, because you don't have to worry about what you say, because you are you. I don't have, dude, if I don't have to, what they always say, when you lie, you have to remember the lie. You don't remember your lies. So, but if I'm just me, I get it. I know what I look like. I know what I sound like. I know how I come across. I know most people don't get it. But you know what happens after a little while? People come back to your page. They come and see you again. And they're like, wow, he's the same guy. Your level of trust goes. So I think, yeah, man, I think to your question, authenticity is it takes a lot of courage though, because we haven't been given the permission to really sometimes say the truth.
Mm. Do you think that there is anything wrong with being the performer on stage, but being just a little bit less of that same performer in real life, right? Because there's a difference between performing and not performing, but you can still be authentic in that performance. So how do you navigate the two? For people that are listening, how can you help them say, look, you can be this performer, you can be this person, but at the same time, you can also do it in a way that resembles your personality and your authenticity?
Yeah, look, any performer like you, we were chatting before, you turn on your camera, you go larger than life. You have to. That's normal. We're on camera. We're expressive. You want to sell it. Energy, right? No one wants to buy a very flat. Hi, welcome to the show today. No one's buying that. I think it does come down to still the core, though. The core. What are you doing this for? Why are you doing it? People know. People can smell it. It takes, people are more in tune than what they think, and there are people that are really in tune. I think, like myself, I know, I can smell it, dude. This guy's all it's all talk, or it's not real. He's creating this podcast or doing this thing for not the reason what I think he's doing it for the wrong reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I want to get tactical. Are you cool getting tactical for a little bit?
I love tactics. Tactics is what gets me results,
Okay.
Hoo-ha and walking on fire doesn't do anything these days, dude.
There we go. So look, there are different types of PR. Once you have product market fit, and we do some of the things that you've talked about today, right? Those are the beginning blocks, the things that you got to build up the consistency with. You got to show up. You got to start having that product market fit and that establishment as you're doing that. Okay, we've established that. But now let's talk about the different types of ways you can benefit from PR, right? There's articles, there's verification, there's magazines, there's TV, there's podcasts, there's all these different ways. How do you break down those different methods for different people, and what reason or what goal might make more sense for a different method, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
So yeah, great question. So first things first, every move I make for a client is the vehicles of trust. It's all for trust. PR is trust. TV, podcasting, press, influencers, verification. It's a trust play, right? Which vehicle is going to give most trust? Or maybe we use a little bit of all of them. So I think at the beginning, most people, every client, we always do the first layer of trust of all angles. Do you have enough Google reviews? Where are your video testimonials on your website? You need some press because it positions you with authority. Getting on a television show is great because it gives you expert authority, right? Podcasting is great because it brings out your story. You're amazing, but now I know why he does, why she does what she does. So I want to hit all different angles because it covers the whole game. Then from there, once we have the trust element at least enough, then it's like, well, which direction do we want to go down to get what we want in return? So for example, we have this lawyer, we put him on TV all the time. The reason why is because people like seeing lawyers, I don't know why, on TV a lot. It just is this heightened level of authority. Does social content work? He does it, but TV is where he gets the most return. Now, where a singer or where maybe a coach, a podcast might be good. Singer might do Instagram covers on YouTube, right? So it just depends on what angle do we want to extract most of the people from. So that's how I kind of play it. At the end of the day, just to give the outcome, Jake, of the media strategy, it's about positioning, it's about authority, it's about credibility, it's about aligning yourself with as the expert, as the go-to, and status sells. Why do I spend $5 for Essentia water? Yeah, it's alkaline, but it's also Essentia. It's a brand. So we pay for status, we pay for brand. So when you're on these kind of larger outlets, media, people see you as, oh, then you can charge more. Then you'll get better opportunities. Like we talked about this before, like take away the emotion, take away not the moralness. What's the word I'm looking for? Like what's approved and what's not approved. Like just think about logically. If all these people are saying you're the best, you're the best, you're the best, and then you see you at them everywhere, don't you think in your mind, this person must be expensive or must be pretty good? Like, so we can harness that for you.
Yeah, I like that. And so it sounds like kind of what you're saying is there's that like baseline level that is the first part of what needs to happen.
Right.
You need to be having that trust in reviews and testimonials, a little bit of press. Like you need to have that. That's a non-negotiable baseline.
Yeah,
And
I love that.
then
Non-negotiable. Yeah.
and then based on A, what we found works, or B, what your real objective is, that's when we kind of narrow down and go in towards one angle that will really bring out your strengths. Going back to what we talked about earlier, bringing out your strengths and bringing out the opportunities that you know as the expert of what you do to help the clients become their own expert.
Yeah.
Is that kind of how you kind of structure it?
Yeah, man, you pinned it really perfectly. Like it's non-negotiable PR, right? Because people go, well, I really need press articles. No, you need to fix your website, right? Like you worrying about press. I don't want anybody new looking at this, right? Oh, let me just Google you for a second. We do this at the office. I'll put someone on a Zoom. This is after they become a client. And I'm like, are you ready to cry? Like I'm really fun when it comes to training. What do you mean? Just watch this. And we'll Google their name and we'll show them the truth. We don't need to close it. Google will close it for us. And there'll be like 3 reviews. And then the first thing I'm like, what's this review? And the client, I'm like, oh my gosh, she did it. You can't say anything because you should have fixed this, right? Let's look at your website. Oh, wait, I haven't fixed my website. Like they know what they need to do. They haven't done it, right? Most people, it takes one Google search to find out, what do we say about you? What do we think about you? Are there any photos on Instagram or Facebook that you're not proud of? Guess what? People make judgments really quickly, right? Yeah. And no one wants to be catfished on a call. You ever been catfished on a call? Not on a date? Like with someone that's, and I've been on a call, I'm like,
Yeah.
And he's still using a 1982 photo. Like, how do I then, if he can't even be honest with me on the photo, why am I going to be honest with me on a call? That's how people think. If you have 3 Google reviews from 2017, what have you been doing the last 5 years? Right? If you go to a restaurant, it's like, oh, best restaurant 2014. You ever see that on a wall?
All
I'm
the
like,
time.
guys, what happened for the last 9 years? Oh, you can't be promoting that. That, you know what that promotes? Like, you were cool once. You made it one time. So yeah, I'm going off on a tangent here, but where I'm going with this, man, is you got to look at every angle. Digitally, people find trust through websites, through social, through Google reviews, through referrals, through podcasting. People have a very unique way of building trust. People look at my LinkedIn. I go to LinkedIn first. Wow, okay, note that down. Let me clean that. Let me just make sure that's tight. You know what? My YouTube is where I search for people. I search you on YouTube. Oh, interesting. You know, actually, you know what? I spoke to someone on your Instagram. I have this. I looked at you, someone who's your friends on Instagram. I messaged them. Wow, okay, that's PR 101. What do my people who follow me think about me? You know?
Yeah. No, this is good stuff. Okay, I'm gonna go one more direction here, and this may be a little controversial. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to hear what you have to say about this, and this will kind of bring us to the end here over the next couple of minutes. One of the things we've talked about is this trust, people's perception of us, how we position ourselves. Well, the other thing we know is that status does sell. And the more you appear, the more the trust has, the higher rates you can charge, the more people believe you have the answers to solve their problem,
Sure.
right? So, what are your thoughts around buying followers
Mhm.
or buying things that portray status to get the fast track? And maybe you deserve all that, but maybe the organic way just hasn't gotten there that point, but you're still the same person. So, what
Yeah.
are your thoughts around buying certain things like followers versus other things? And does that change depending on who the person is?
I'll give you 2 answers. First, I'll give you the non-emotional, non-moral, non-ethical. How bad do you want to get to the result? Right? How bad do you want it? Are you willing to do whatever it takes? Now, the other answer is, I think it's a bit of both. Have I bought followers? Yes. Have I bought press? Yes. Do you ever pay a PR firm money to go pitch you in press? Is that buying press or is that paying, you know, right? If you get an award and you pay an agency to help you pitch it, did they pay for it or did you pay them? Like, this is where it gets very murky, right? So do I believe in paying for things to give you the perception? 100%, 100%. Just like I go out and put a nice suit on to get people to see me in a specific way, right? Now you may be thinking, well, Jay, I don't believe in I don't believe in buying followers because it's fake. It's a lie. To who? To who? Right? What is the difference in advertising on a billboard? This is the thing. I'm glad you brought this up because it's very hard to explain to people about advertising and marketing is very rough for people. If we all waited until we were given something organically, we'd all be broke. Who decides that? How many musicians are there on the street at a restaurant and you like, she sings amazing and she's broke. I was a struggling artist, a magician for most of my life. I was really good at what I did. I was waiting for someone to hand me the Willy Wonka's ticket, right? I was really well dressed, go to networking events, but I was broke, dude. I was struggling to get clients, cash flow, and choices. I said this in my video on my website. I struggled. And it wasn't until the time I realized how to leverage the media and how to leverage attention, everything changed. Was I really good at what I did? Yeah. Then why was I struggling? What? I was doing everything organically. And I went, that's it. I need to use money to get myself to the right people. I paid for proximity. I paid for masterminds. I don't look at it like paying. If I was tell people, do you believe in what you do? Do you believe if I get you to the right table, you can close the deal? Do you believe your stuff can actually help people? That's all you should be focusing on. Because some people will not like you, Jake, because guess what? They don't like a guy who has a t-shirt on a podcast. People will like that. They don't like Mr. Fly Guy by Night, Mr. Talker, Mr. J with the watch. People will not like something because they just don't like something, right?
Mm-hmm.
People say, oh, Jay, you're lucky. You have a nice jawline. You were like, oh, she was given it because she's pretty. Oh, Jake lives in Los Angeles. He doesn't understand what it feels like because he's not an immigrant like me. See how this whole world, it just is not, it doesn't do anything. What do you feel is right? What do you care for? But I will tell people, most people are in their head. Most people live in their head of the stories that they tell themselves. And they don't make it because they allow these stories to control them. I always tell people all the time, the stories you tell yourself will either make you fly or make you die. Will fuel you or fail you. I'm shy. I'm an introvert. I would never pay to get myself out there. No one would ever listen to my story. Yeah, you know why they won't? Because you keep telling yourself that. Like,
yeah.
who told you you're shy?
Yeah.
Who told you you're an introvert? Who said to you that your story doesn't matter? And guess what they do? I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, I don't buy into it anymore. Because
Why
guess
do you
what?
think?
The final thing on this, because guess what? If I peel the onions off in your life, I could find a million people who don't like how you got to where you got to. Oh, she did it organically? Yeah. Really? Like, everyone's going to judge you on everything. So I just think coming back to the core of like, what do you feel? Like, really? But if you're waiting for Willy Wonka and the ticket to come and given to you, you're going to be regretting your life because it's not going to come. It's not how it works. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, what an interesting take. What a great podcast episode. How do we follow you? How do we learn more about Ace of Spades? How do we continue to learn from the Fly Guy? Like, what do we got going on? Give us all the places we can go.
Fly Guy from Miami. People like, I told someone that, where do you live, Miami? She goes, yeah, you look like that, a guy. I could have said Indiana. She'd be like, yeah, you look like that kind of guy. So if you're listening right now and you really would like to just have a honest, fair, strategic conversation on your brand and your business, like maybe you want to stand out from the competition, maybe you want to get deals in quicker, maybe you would love to learn how to like create better quality clients. All of those things are possible when you do two things: personally brand yourself and you leverage the media. Like, I've done it for myself and so many people, and you deserve to be rewarded for the hard work that you've done. And I know what it feels like to work so hard on something and no one sees you. It's extremely taxing, and you want to give up. So I can show you how to do it the authentic way, right? The way that you don't have to be someone you're not. And I think that's the biggest thing. So aceofspadesagency.com, aceofspadesagency.com.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, thank you, man, for coming on the show. And I've had a great time with you, man. This has been fun. I'm glad you allowed me to ask the questions I think a lot of people wouldn't ask. And I appreciate you giving the honest answers.
Yeah, of course. That's how I feel, Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. Maybe is maybe.
And that's for everyone else to decide. So look, if you guys enjoyed this episode, go check out Ace of Spades Agency. Go give JJ your updated info on everything that you're working on, and keep doing things. There's definitely some things in here that you can apply right away, no matter what stage of your business or your life you're in, and just own that. And so I will see you all on the next episode.